If you're watching this video, I can assume only one thing, that you have chosen to learn the way of the camera. Now let me tell you, the path you have chosen is long and difficult. You will be faced with much pain and much temptation. Only the truest and purest heart can make it to the role of camera person. Now, if you feel that you can't make it, if you have even the slightest doubt in your mind, then now is the time to turn back. Many have made the mistake and ventured onwards, and they paid dearly, let me tell you. Some of them paid with their lives. Some of them weren't even that fortunate. Now, the tape we're going to be using is a Super VHS cassette, and it looks like this. And you can identify the little sucker by this Super VHS Pro label on the top left-hand side, right there. Now, this may look like a regular VHS cassette, but it's much higher quality and it's not compatible with normal VHS players. So that's that for now. In this training video, we're going to be learning how to use the SVHS camera. We're going to be using an SVHS camcorder and an industrial SVHS camera. Now, these cameras have many uses, many functions, and indeed are very powerful. But with great power comes great responsibility. In the wrong hands, it can become a weapon of destruction. And now I'd like to introduce you to my brother Marty. Come on in, Marty. Say hello to the folks out there in TV land. Come on. Come on, Marty. Come on in. Don't be shy. That's a good boy. Just stand there. See? It ain't so bad. Marty used to be a psychotic, neurotic, paranoid, kleptomaniac, uninitiated, acutely schizophrenic mental nutcase. But he's okay now. Aren't you, Marty? Yeah. Show me your scars, Marty. Eee! Now, put them away. Marty's undergoing an experimental nuclear brain surgery transplant at the minute. It seems to be going okay. He doesn't smile as much now, though. Yeah, man. Marty, would you fetch me the flip chart like a good boy? Come on. That boy. That's my boy. Come on, Marty. Come on. Bring it here. That's right. That boy. Yeah, just leave it down there. Right down there. Go, Marty! That's my toe! Get it out. Get it out of here. Yeah, that'll do. Come on. Okay, Marty, get out of here. You're nothing but a pain in the toe. Come on, Marty, get out of here. Come on, beat it. So this training video is going to be broken down into 6 parts, and I'm going to show you them right here. Boy, that was tasty, you know. Anyway, these 6 parts. So these are support, white balance, focusing, viewfinder icons, shot sizes, and movement. Now, so, focusing. Now that's really important. Let me show you. Take these things off. Can't see a thing. That's because you're not focused. So, you see, this focusing thing's pretty important. You gotta be focused all the time. Not like me. I swear to God, half the time I don't even know what I'm doing. The kids don't understand me. My psychiatrist doesn't understand me. I told them it was the voices. They told me to do it. I didn't want to do it. It was the voices. Sorry. Yeah. Focusing, yeah. That's gotta be important, right? Select manual focus by pressing the MF button on the side of the camera. The MF icon will appear in the viewfinder. Now you're ready. First, zoom in on your subject and adjust the focus. The focus is now locked in on this shot. Then zoom out and compose your shot. Now, when you zoom back in, the subject will be in perfect focus. Now balance. Balance is very important. Without balance, I could easily fall over onto the floor, which is what just happened actually. That happened. Now, in order to do a good white balance, you're going to need a color monitor. And you can't use a viewfinder on the camera because that's in black and white, and there'll be no indication of color or lighting problems. First, you take a white piece of paper and you zoom into it real close. Now press the white balance button. The white balance icon will appear on the left-hand side of the screen flashing. While it's flashing, the white balance is adjusting. When it stops flashing, the white balance is adjusted. A useful trick, however, is that you can fool the white balance to give you an atmosphere. For a cool image, white balance on yellow paper, and for a warmer image, white balance on blue paper. Remember, the white balance must be adjusted under each different lighting situation, especially when traveling from outside to inside or inside to outside. We all need support, no matter how tough we think we are. Of course, us humans, we have our legs. But cameras have nothing. Mother Nature did not bless them with this wonderful creation. But instead, she did give him this. This is called a tripod.
So happy!
A tripod is simple to use. You take the plate off the tripod, then attach it to the camera. Then attach the camera to the tripod. Then you must make sure the camera is balanced by using the balancing bubble, which is located on the neck of the tripod. You must make sure the bubble is in the circle. This tells you that the camera is balanced. If you're using the industrial camera, then you may be lucky enough to get hold of a spreader or a spider, as we in the real world of video making like to call them. Anyways, maybe you don't like tripods. Maybe you hate them. Maybe they remind you too much about robots, of complicated electron mine neutralizers or old Flash Gordon ray guns. Or maybe even an old girlfriend. Cold, rigid, unresponsive, just rooted to the one spot. Yeah, anyway, if so, you can just get rid of it. You know, we don't need them, so just lose a tripod and learn to use your hands for once. How about that? Use your thumb to press record. Now these fingers here control the zoom. And your left hand controls the lens and helps support the camera. And now we'll look at camera movements. Good moving shots demand smooth, steady movements. Jerky actions will show up in the camera, so you must make sure the camera person is sound and steady and preferably sober. Now, remember, shots can be tricky, so you don't just shoot it first time, you run it through and practice it a few times to get it right. If you're using a tripod, loosen the nuts on the side to free the camera and use the pan handle to steer the camera. First, there's the pan. This involves rotating the camera sideways while standing in one place. Then there's the tilt. This involves tilting the camera up and down while standing in one place. Tracking shots involve moving with the camera rather than staying just in one place. Now, because of this, you can't use a tripod. Handheld shots look very shaky, so sometimes a dolly is used. Now, a dolly is a camera platform on wheels, and it helps give a very smooth, steady shot by traveling along a track. For more awkward shots, a Steadicam can be used. A Steadicam is a device which keeps the camera balanced at all times, even when the camera person is walking or running. Now I'm going to tell you about shot sizes. Don't anyone move. There are 6 basic shot sizes, and these are used by professionals and amateurs alike. Whether it's a person or an object, or a personal object, or an objective person. Anyway, here they are. First, there's the VLS, which means a very long shot. Then the LS, the long shot, sometimes called the establishing shot. MS, medium shot. MCU, medium close-up. CU, close-up. BCU, big close-up. Now, how do you compose your shots? When framing someone, be sure not to cut off their head. Instead, leave some space above their head. This space is called headroom, and it looks good. When framing someone who is facing to the side, make sure you leave space in front of them and not behind them. This space in front is called the lead room, and it also looks pretty neat. Now you might want to remember the rule of thirds, which is a handy little bit of advice made up by an old friend of mine, Richard III. It's quite simple. You divide the screen into 3 columns, then, instead of framing objects in the middle of the screen, you move them slightly to the side. This is often found to be much more attractive to the eye. Now we move on to icons. I'm not talking about that great icon of the 20th century, the king of rock and roll.
We're lost in a cloud with too much rain. We're trapped in a world that's troubled with pain.
No way. I'm talking about those little suckers that you find in the corner of your screen when you look through the camera. That's the icons we're going to be talking about now. Well, we're inside the viewfinder, and here are those icons I was telling you about. Okay, first you got your date and time. Now this is the only icon that is actually recorded on tape, so you better get rid of it. This icon means you're using a Super VHS tape. This is a tape counter. It tells you where the tape is at. This icon tells you that there's no tape in the camera. It's a handy one, that. This icon is telling you your battery is getting low. Better get a new one. The MF symbol means you are at manual focus. And the white balance symbol tells you about the white balance. Well, that's that then. You've made it this far. I just hope you people have learned something from this training video. You know, when I was a kid, I didn't have a training video. I didn't even have a train set. Now, I've had to learn the hard way. Well, let me tell you, I've seen horror and pain and disease and suffering and torture and cruelty and every kind of human perversion that known to man that no camera operator should ever see. Anyways, goodbye and good luck. What, you still here?